Hey friends, welcome to the Business Accelerator TV, where I am bringing on my friend Sarah Familar Ragsdale. We're just having some tech issues today. I think it's Mercury retrograde. But I wanted to welcome you all here first, give you a little bit of background about me while we're waiting for her to come on, and let you know you are in the right place if you are a female entrepreneur who is looking to uplevel your success and scale your business. So give me a hashtag live if you are watching this live. Let me know where you're watching from. Give me a hashtag replay. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you're new to me, give me a hashtag newbie. Sorry, lots of notifications coming through here. And here she comes. I also, who is watching? So if you've got a baby business just getting started in the world of business, drop me a 1. If you've got a side hustle, there she is, drop me a 2. And then if you've got a full-blown business that you're looking to scale to the next level, drop me a 3 and let me know where you are in your journey. So welcome, Sarah. So happy to have you here today.
I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me, Sarah.
You're welcome. Let me just ask you, do you happen to have any headphones? I'm getting some feedback, and Facebook Live has been funny about this lately.
I don't. I hate to say let me sign on and sign back off.
It's
Let me
okay.
see if I can.
Okay, it's no worries. I can keep going. Okay, I'll be here. Now we know how to do it. I might have to bring her back on, send another invitation. But yeah, so anyway, if you're just getting started and you've got this call in your heart and your soul and your spirit, you know you are meant for more, and you just don't really know the next steps to take, you're in the right place. If you've got a side hustle that you're looking to transform into a thriving, legit business, you're in the right place. If you've got a legit business and you're like, you know what, I know I can do more and better and make a bigger impact, and have a larger income, then you're also in the right place. So okay, so Sarah's had to sign off for just a minute, but we'll bring her back on. Um, okay, so yeah, let me know where you are in your journey, in your cycle, and um, while we're waiting for Sarah to grab her headphones, you can ask me anything if you're on, if you have any questions about business strategy and mindset. Because I think with all the strategy in the world, if your mindset isn't right, you can easily crash and burn. I know this happened to me even up until a couple of weeks ago. I was so just go, 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 nonstop, work, 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 work. And I just totally burned out. I had to take a step away. And that's where Sarah came in. It's so funny, like how the universe works in mysterious ways. Like I was just feeling so tired and all this like heavy masculine energy and just not myself and out of sorts. Has anybody else been feeling this way lately? This is a couple of weeks ago. And I was like, I just have to take a break. I feel like I'm doing everything for everybody and I'm not filling my own cup up. Well, so Sarah reaches out to me, not knowing that I'm going through this or feeling this. And she says, well, come and see me. Let's have a consultation. Let's do a Reiki treatment and let's do a Reiki massage. And she's like, and all I ask for is a testimonial for our new studio. And I was like, what? I'm like, well, sign me up for that. I can definitely do that. And I have to tell you, it was just the thing that I needed. It was the most blissful, beautiful afternoon. I don't know if any of you have done Reiki. And it was the first massage I've had since lockdown. So it just was so nice to get out and be surrounded by this amazing, abundant energy of light. And for my mental wellness, it was just critical to get out and get off the grid for a minute. And so that afternoon was just absolutely magical. And I said to Sarah, it's like, you have to come on as one of my guest experts. See if I can bring her on here. Bring her on camera. There she is.
Yay!
Yay! Success. I was just telling the story of a couple of weeks ago. You didn't even know what I was struggling with and going through, and you just reached out and said, hey, come on and come get some Reiki and some like good, yummy, I don't know, like reconnection to source energy and lightness and the female divine and all these wonderful things. And what a magical afternoon we had.
It was
So
magical.
welcome, Sarah. Tell us a little bit
Thank
about
you.
you and we'll dive right into the conversation.
Okay, it sounds like you've been telling them a lot about me already. I am a mind soul coach. I am a high priestess of the divine feminine and a teacher of divine feminine mysteries. I'm a Reiki master. I'm a crystal healer. I'm a sound healer. And I've been teaching women about spirituality for almost 30 years.
Wow, I love that. And I'm so happy to see you and be here. I miss you so much. We have to get together in person soon. It's been
Yes.
a wild ride this year. Welcome, Kaketsu, all the way from South Africa. I'm so excited to have you here. We've got people that are going to be watching this from all over the world today. So that's going to be amazing.
Exciting.
So Sarah, let's talk about the feminine divine. Speaking of which, let's talk about why that level of energy is so important in our businesses, because I think as businesswomen we can get so caught up in the hustle, grind, slay and repeat, this old like wives tale
Yeah.
that this is the forceful energy, and the more I work and the more I do, the more success is going to come to me. But it's quite the opposite, I've found. So tell me your experience on that, and maybe let's talk about
Yeah,
balancing that masculine energy with the feminine.
sure. Um, the feminine is creative. The feminine is the energy where inspiration comes from. And that works best in flow and ease. Something that's really struck me in the female entrepreneur area of the world that you and I are both a part of in the last 6 or 7 years has been that hustle, grind, go, make it, make it, make it. You're a boss, babe. You can do this. All of that energy is masculine. And let me make it clear, we need both masculine and feminine on board. We all have those energies in us. But for a long time, I couldn't figure out, why is it bothering me so much? All of the women I know going, hustle, 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 boss babe. And it's because I actually had a little PTSD type reaction to it, because it was taking me back to like the old paradigm of, you must achieve these gates, these goals in order to be a worthwhile professional. And if you don't do that, then you're not doing your right work in the world. So I wanted to throw that out there, because I think that probably a lot of us here have felt like we needed to be that, to do that I have to go, 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 go all the time.
Yeah.
And what it leads to is what you were talking about as I was joining in, that it leads to this place of burnout. It leads to a place of maybe not really feeling inspired by the work that you want to do, feeling like you need to unplug and check out, and feeling disheartened, and all of those things that none of us as female entrepreneurs and people in service want to feel.
Yeah.
So
It
we get
sounds
out of
like you're
balance
almost
with that.
saying that if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right.
Right. If actually, even better, if it doesn't feel good,
Okay.
when it stops feeling good, I'm my most productive and my most successful when I'm excited about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
When the moment that I start thinking I should be doing this, oh. So I try not to shit all over myself, and tell my clients not to either.
Well, I think happy people are more successful people. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not like you're going to be happy once you attain this goal, or once I get the thing, I'm going to be happy. It's like, let me be happy now. And then that raises my vibration to match the energy of what it is that I'm calling in. Right.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I just had this premonition earlier. I've been feeling more myself this week, and I don't know if it's that the new moon is coming, or what's going on, but just feeling so much better. And this morning I was thinking about that and thinking, I actually feel like my own self, and I feel good, and I feel happy, and something really amazing is about to happen. And I'm calling in all this good energy and all these good things to come. And all of a sudden my husband hollers up the stairs, and he's like, hey, you just had a check come in from a class action lawsuit. And I was like, what? I was like, I remember filing for that, but I don't even remember like when it was, or even thinking about it again, that this would come in. But it's when you're in that mindset, right? You're in this place of like, energetically, it comes.
Yeah. Yeah. We talk a lot about the law of attraction. A
Yeah.
lot of people have heard about that from The Secret and Abraham Hicks. It is true that what we want to attract is what we feel.
Mm.
That when we when we start feeling things we don't want to feel, that's when we start attracting what we don't want to feel. You were feeling more like yourself, and you're naturally an abundant, open to receive woman. So the universe went, oh, yeah, okay, here, by the way, here's a little reminder to you in the
Yeah.
form of this free money. Free
Yes.
money is great.
Free money is great and it's out there for everyone. And I think we have to come from this place of prosperity and abundance rather than lack, because that lack is what um, feels like hustle, grind, slay, and repeat.
Yeah.
It's coming from this place of I have to get it, I have to get it, I have to get it, I have to be more, I have to be more, I have to be more. That's lack. Even
Yeah.
though you think you're doing more. And I tell you, the most frustrating times in my career have been when I've been doing more, but not getting the results. And so it's when you step back for a minute and you just go, you know, it's okay to have some me time and
Yeah.
play and do the things that make me happy, because then I can come back to my business and be that much more energized and better. And
Mm-hmm.
that's where I think the power of meditation comes in.
Yes.
And I didn't understand how important that was until recently, even though I, you know, here and there, higgly piggly, like, oh, I think I'll meditate today, until it became a non-negotiable. Nothing altered.
Yeah.
It
Well,
was
you,
just keeping pushing and forcing and pushing and forcing. And sorry, go ahead.
oh, I was going to say, in meditation, in stopping the pushing, if you did
Yeah.
nothing else at some point in time early in your day, instead of, your alarm goes off and you're on your feet with your phone in your hand before you're even really awake, and most of us find ourselves in that unless we choose to do it differently.
Yeah.
You are in masculine immediately. You've left behind your feminine instincts and your feminine needs immediately to go into push, 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 push.
Yeah.
The feminine energy is receptive. And so when you sit down to meditate, you're not only, stopping and listening to yourself, which if you just do that is incredibly powerful, but you're also making space to be guided towards right action for you. So that can show up as, today maybe you need to take some time and be with your daughter and plug back into yourself, into Sarah, and come back to your work later. Or it can look like you think that you're making something that day, but while you're meditating, you get a download of, oh, but it would be so much sweeter and better if I did it this way. It can also look like I've been hustling, pushing, 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 pushing. I'm not getting any response at all from people. I keep talking about this program. All I'm doing is going on social media and trying to convince people to sign up for my program, and crickets. Well, maybe there's a reason for that. And maybe that reason could be it's just not time for that program to be picked up. Maybe it's not time for you to teach that program. So some of those are tough truths for those of us who are female entrepreneurs in service. But I think it's all very important.
That doesn't mean that you drop the ball either and you go, well, it's just
Mm-mm.
not time for this or it's not time for that. And so, you know what, just forget it.
Yeah.
It's a pivot. And that's also where I think the feminine energy can come in and be like, okay, how can I make this better? How can I tweak this? How can I show up energetically in a different way?
Yeah.
How can I show my audience, my people, that I am fun, I am light, I am energy, and I'm not
Yeah.
just like all business all the time.
Yeah. I actually, an example of how this can work comes to me with Danielle Laporte. She's a well-known um, personal motivation. I think of her more as like my sister goddess
Okay, I'm gonna write that name down.
teacher.
Anybody you refer to me, I'm like, okay, I gotta make a note of that.
Danielle Laporte lives in Vancouver, Canada. She is the creator of something called the Desire Map, among other things.
Ooh.
And actually, the Desire Map is a program that helped me get out of toxic corporate America and into the work I'm doing right now. So I can't suggest it enough. I use it with my coaching clients all the time. She, about 2.5 years ago, had developed this program, and I was on it. I was just waiting for her to drop the open day so that I could sign up. She'd done these beautiful podcasts leading up to it. The material just looked amazing. And it was called Lighter. she started getting feedback from the community of women who were women of color saying there are aspects to the messaging that you're
Oh my
putting
word.
out that make us feel uncomfortable and not welcome. She took this program that honestly she could have opened the doors and women of lighter skin who were already responding to it were going to buy, but she was going to basically hurt
Oh,
other parts of her community by keeping it as it was. Rather than doing that, she said, okay, let me listen to you. And I'm closing the program. I'm not going to even open the doors to the program. And this was a program that she developed for, I think, over a year. So she stepped back from it. And at the time, I thought, oh my God, how much for people to ask of her to give up? You know, even though I was hearing what they were saying and absolutely understood what they were saying, as a businesswoman, I was thinking, my God, she and her team have basically just tossed a year of their lives right out. But instead, they stepped back, they listened, and then eventually she took what was good in that program and created other things.
and made
So,
it better and more impactful and
yes, and more inclusive. And even though it's never come out as exactly the same thing, she's used what she made, she just has used it differently.
yeah.
And it's had, you know, her work has therefore had a more inclusive impact for everybody. So,
Well,
you
and
know,
you know, that's the
that's
whole
a gutsy
thing.
thing, you
Yeah, it
know.
is. And that's the thing too. If something's not working or not going right, that doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. It
Right.
means just maybe with a couple of tweaks in your offer or in your discovery call, or maybe you're giving too much in your strategy sessions. That's something
Mm-hmm.
that I came up with, was that I was like answering the person's problem right then and there. And then they're like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
good, thanks. I'm like, wait a second. I have so much more to share with you. You just don't know what you don't know. And
Yeah.
so it's just figuring out, it's listening for the downloads, it's listening for the answers, for the clues, and asking more powerful questions too.
Yes. Yes. Of our clients and also of ourselves.
Yeah. And what's really needed out there. And right now, I think there's never been a better time to start your own business. And we all have this divine light inside of us. We all have a gift inside of us to shine on the world. And the world needs that more right now than ever before.
Yeah.
And so without even saying like, how does bringing connection to your higher power into your business, like what's the connection there and why is that important? I think we're already having this conversation, but it is a good question still to ask. And it's funny because I had a potential client ask me the other day, like, do you bring spirituality into your coaching? And I was like, well, no, not really. Like I love it on the outside of that, but I hadn't really thought about bringing it in because I am a business strategist, right? So it
Mm-hmm.
is just like, here are the keys that you need to success.
Yeah.
But without the other, I burned out. And so I thought, you know what, this is an important conversation to have, because now if somebody asks me that again, I'm going to say, well, isn't this just life? Like, isn't that a part of
Yeah.
who we all are at some level? Maybe not. I
Yeah.
don't know. What's your, how do you bring it into your business?
Well, you know, my entire business is
Right.
spirituality based.
Okay.
So I guess I'm a little bit different, but I will say when I first became a coach back in 2014 professionally, I've been coaching people my entire life. And only figured out in 2014, oh, I could make this my career. So I was a general life coach. I quickly figured out that I loved helping people who had been in toxic corporate America get out. You know, we serve a version of ourselves, get
Right,
out
for
of the
sure.
toxic and do what you feel called to do, right? At that time, if you wanted to work with me and you had money, I was going to bend to be whatever coach you needed me to be.
Mm-mm.
So if it was business, and I had 4 businesses that I've started and run successfully, I know how to do that. But if I had someone come to me and say, I just want to talk about my business, okay, I would try that. I had a great, wonderful client who came to me and said, you know, I see that you read tarot cards. I don't want to do any of that kind of thing. I just want you to help me with my career. 2 sessions in of her own volition, spirituality came up, and we spent the rest of the time we worked together talking about spirituality because she figured out on her own that what was really missing for her was a sense of purpose.
Yeah.
Sense of purpose and our
Mm-hmm.
spiritual, whatever you call your spiritual path, are
Yeah. Your
together.
higher power. Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. So, and that higher power looks different for all of us. You know, one of my best friends is in law school and he's an atheist, and to him, creation started with the Big Bang. But his personal higher purpose is being in service to people. You know, he's going to finish law school and he's in New York City. He could go to the big firms. Instead, he's going to legal aid because his higher purpose is to help people,
So
regardless of what
it's
you believe.
purpose. I love
Yes.
that. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that's beautiful. Because I think without a purpose, I mean, I know in the Bible it says, without a vision, people perish. And that's one of my favorite quotes. But I also think without a purpose, we can perish,
Yeah.
because a vision is one thing. It's what we want to create with our lives. But the purpose is what backs that, what drives us to get up and
Yes.
get back into the workspace every single day, because we know we have a gift. We know we have somebody that we can impact with that.
Yeah. We have our soul's calling.
That's it.
And when we're very young, we very often know what our soul calling is. And life tries to redirect us to something else. But that soul calling will always pop up. And it can
Yeah.
either pop up in healthy ways, or it can show you, you know, if you're living a completely opposite life from your soul calling, it's almost like it turns up the misery that you're experiencing. And I think that it's in the hope of there's going to come a day where you go, this is not the life I signed up for.
Right.
Okay.
You're tired of being tired and sick of
Yes.
being sick and tired. And I feel like that calling is in all of us at some level.
Mm-hmm.
And the more and more you ignore that voice, the louder and louder it's going to get. And either you will take action on it of your own volition, or you'll be forced onto that path, whether you like it or not. And that's what
Yeah,
happened
for
to
sure.
me. I mean, I was a stay-at-home mom for many years. We were financially free. I mean, we had a really great life, and then we had this financial disaster, and I had to go back to work, and it was terrifying because so much had changed. Everything was online, and I didn't know any of the modern marketing strategies, and it was like, I don't even know like where to start if I'm going to start something.
Yeah.
But I have to start, and that was the universe saying, okay, here's your redirect. Because if I hadn't have thrown this at you, you never would have moved.
Mm-hmm.
It was a
Yeah.
call to action big time to say,
Yeah.
you got to step on this new path.
Well, also, let me start by saying I don't have a child, but I believe that a woman whose focus is raising her child is doing amazing, important work.
Yeah.
But being a mother is, to Sophia, is part of your work.
Yeah.
You know, you're still a wonderful mother to her, but part of what you were supposed to do here as a soul was to mentor people beyond your daughter. And
Yeah.
so your soul kept providing opportunities, even in a situation of, you know, something you don't want to do. You don't want financial problems to take you to that point, but sometimes it does, because it does force you out the door,
Yeah.
and you got to figure it out. But
Well, and
if you can do it from where does my intuition, where does my soul pull me to go, rather than the the blind, oh my God, I have to make money and I have to do it right now.
oh, that masculine energy again.
Yeah, yeah.
And we all have intuition inside of us. I say, I in the beginning, I was like, what is an intuitive and what is an intuition coach and all this sort of thing. And I was like, okay, you know what? It's not some woo-woo thing that's out there. It's something that's a part of all of us.
Yes.
Is our intuition. We have this inner voice that of reason, right, that says, okay, this is your next step. And it's just
Yeah.
learning to tap into that and pay attention to that. And I think that's another place that meditation comes in.
For
And
sure.
starting your day with an empty mind. I mean, that was the other thing. I just got into this headspace of like, I don't have any more headspace. Like there's no space left in here for one more thing. But that's when the one more thing starts to come, like even more and more frequently. It's like calling it what you don't want. It's the opposite. So to just get your head clear, it's everything.
Yeah. I think it also makes you more productive because, again, when you jump into that primitive, oh, I got to go out there. It's basically that, go hunt and find what I need. If that's the programming right away, it's also very easy to get distracted. You know, it is like being out hunting and you're the hunter, and is that a bunny or is that something else? You know,
Yes.
is there a better opportunity over there with a deer? You know, it's this reactive thing. Whereas if we can
Yeah.
sit and meditate, when I do that, what I think my priority for the day is
Mm.
when I wake up is
Yes.
different when I come out of that meditative space. And I just want to say, for anybody going, I don't have time to sit down and meditate in the morning. If you have time to brush your teeth, if you have time to shower, you can meditate while you brush your teeth. You can meditate while you shower if it comes down to it. It's about creating a mental space. So instead of having, you know, radio going and some, you know, disc jockey telling you about whatever kind of thing they talk about, I don't even listen to that anymore. Instead, you can listen to yourself while you do those things. So if you feel like you don't have the luxury of 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 minutes to meditate, at least be aware while you're doing these repetitive things you're going to do in the morning anyway, that you can tap back into yourself.
That's exactly right. And that's also a good time for gratitude, which I find is another
Mm-hmm.
big part of this journey. And a big part of spirituality too is just grounding yourself in gratitude and saying thank you first thing every morning, even if you're in a
Yes,
really hard place. And by the way, ladies, you owe it to yourself to give yourself a few minutes out of the day. When my mentor was saying, you know, we all have 24 hours in the day, you deserve to have a few minutes of those to yourself, like at least 1 hour a day that's just for you.
I agree.
And it may be looking like setting some boundaries, like closing the door to your office, or I mean, we have an open door policy in our house. You know, we don't live behind closed doors or whatever. And so, but when it is my time to meditate, I have said, I'm closing the door to my office. This is my time. You guys can figure yourselves out for 11 minutes. Let me do my thing, you do yours, and then we'll
Yes.
all be back together in just a few minutes. It's fine.
Yeah.
So now they understand, and boundaries.
Yeah. And it creates a wonderful example to your daughter
Mm.
that that's going to be important. You know, mom is doing this for herself. As she grows into a woman, she's going to understand that women do this and it's okay.
Yeah.
In addition to everything else that she learns, mom takes 11 minutes for herself. And so Sophia now can take 11 minutes for herself. Your husband can do the same thing. So you're setting a great example as well by taking care of yourself.
Okay, so this is a good transition too, because I promised our listeners also that we would be talking about self care, not from a place of like this trendy buzz topic, right? Because everybody's like,
Yeah.
oh, self care, self care. And in the beginning, I was like, what is this? What a nonsense. I'm like, I take a shower, I do my nails, I get my hair done. That's self care, you know? But why is it critical that as women we take this time for ourselves in our lives as well as in our business,
Yeah.
in our mental state?
Yeah, that's such a multi-layered answer. And for one, it goes back to not just business, but everything we do. You know, you recharge your phone. My phone was plugged in when we first were trying to connect. I make sure that battery is full as often as possible. I kind of freak out when it doesn't. I have to do the same thing to my battery. And unlike my phone, I can't recharge and go at the same time. As a human, I have to stop. And if I don't, then I have nothing to give.
That's
So,
right.
from a business perspective, it, if the cup is empty, there's nothing to pour out into somebody else's cup. And if you're in service, and I know that the two of us, but certainly probably most of the people who watch this are in service in some way, you've got to do that. You got to fill up your cup. So that's number one for self care, business or otherwise. And yes, self care can look like you're having your nails done because it can feel like a treat. But if you're having your nails mostly like is okay, I have to check this off my list, you know? And some of us do that, like, oh, the grooming stuff has to be checked off. So, how we look at those things. Why else is important is it's self care for me is about recognizing my mental health. is a big deal. That I'm not productive if I'm not mentally and emotionally well cared for, if I don't feel that I'm well cared for. And that has to start from myself. Um, Anytime that I've just let myself run down, that's it. And it can take forever. You know, it's like a computer reboot sometimes if you let it go to a chronic stage.
Oh yeah. Preach
Yeah.
it, honey. Preach it louder for the people in the back, because that is that's exactly what happened to me. It's just like the longer you let it go, the harder it is to climb out of that downward
Yeah.
spiral.
Also, another piece of it, and one I think that you experienced and hope you experienced when you came to see me, is receiving from someone else who happily gives, who has enough and wants to give. You know, we're, especially those of us, again, who are in service, tend to give, 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 give. But when offered something, oh, it can be so hard to receive it. But there's healing in that reception.
Mm, because then you feel like you want to go and give, and it's the pay it forward.
Yeah. But also, it continues even more if you receive. Let's look at what you've received recently. So, you needed your cup filled up. The universe said, "Hey, to me, hey, reach out to Sarah Rose." And I also needed someone to come in and bless my new healing space. And the universe gave me you. There was a clear picture. You needed it. I needed it. It met a shared need in different ways. You came in,
Amazing.
you received what you needed to receive. But then once you'd started the ball of receiving, you got a free money check.
Yes.
And what else? Then it's like, okay, well, I've received this and I've received this. What else? It
Yes.
keeps that door open to receiving.
I love that question. What else? We're calling it all in. I love it. I
Oh,
love it. I love it.
yeah. Like, this is delicious. I want more. What else?
What else?
Yeah.
I love that. I'm going to write that down. But in a good way, like not
No,
what
not what else
else?
do I do, but what else is possible?
Yes.
What else will I receive today?
Yes.
Um,
That's the
it,
important thing.
yes, yes. That's telling the universe, oh, that was yummy. I'd like more of that. And it goes back to what we started off with. I teach women to really pay attention to what are their core desired feelings. And I got that from Danielle Laporte, the lady I was talking about earlier. Core desired feelings is the desire map. Um, Ultimate goal. Arriving at that 5 or 6 feelings that if you could wake up in the morning and know in your day you were going to feel these things, it would be your ideal feeling for yourself, but also your life. So once you have those, you refer back to them throughout your day. And when you're making decisions, an easy way to make decisions to guide you in the way you want to go is to check into your core desired feeling and ask, will this choice take me in that direction or away from it? That recharges as well. You're coming back to not only your intuition, but back into yourself and saying, how do I want to feel? Not how do I react, but how do I move from a place of wanting ultimately to feel these ways? And so when I started it, I literally took it as small as, do I drink this glass of water or do I drink a cup of coffee? Sometimes, a lot of the time, my body is saying I need to be more hydrated. I choose the water because that's going to make me feel luminous, which
Ooh,
is
that's
one
a
of
good
my
one.
core desired feelings.
Ah, I just wrote that down. I'm taking notes. Like as you speak, I'm like, okay, this is exactly what I needed today.
So if I know that one of the things I want to say every day is I feel luminous. And luminous for me is lit up, energetic, engaged, completely aligned with my soul calling, with my why I'm here. Because when I am all of those things, I feel lit up. So I make choices that will take me towards luminous. Now, there are some mornings when that cup of coffee is going to be the thing that starts me towards luminous. And if it is, then that's the choice I make too. So it's not a case of, you know, strip away the pleasure things. Sometimes the pleasure things are the things that are going to take you towards how you want to feel. So.
Yeah, and I think doing at least one thing every day that brings you pleasure, that brings you fun. It's almost
Yes.
like my personality. Well, I'm a 3, right?
An
is
Enneagram 3. Yes, you are.
yes. It's just like, let's do this. Let's go. Let's there. But by withholding pleasure, only gaining pleasure from the work and giving to others, it's like cheating yourself. It's like cheating the system, because you are allowed to feel pleasure and to enjoy and to do the things that make you happy and not feel guilty or selfish in doing them. And so whether that is taking 5, 10, 11, 15 minutes to meditate every morning, or going to a shop that you love. I mean, I have one in mind myself, and I'm going to take myself there on the weekend to just get a little treat.
Yeah.
Whether it's going to get a mani and pedi, whether it's going to have a glass of wine with a friend, whatever it is that lights you up, that keeps you going, that keeps you in your path on purpose, then
Yeah. I
why
think it
not
can be.
indulge?
Mhm. I think it can be even smaller than that, and teaching yourself
Yeah.
that pleasure is a possibility every day, all day.
Yes.
And
I
so
love that
again,
too.
that's mindfulness. So for me, pleasure can be, you know, when I'm showering, I choose to use a rose and lemon sugar scrub for myself that I make, that I infuse with beauty and goodness, and it just feels good to use. That's pleasure while I'm grooming, right? I love this red lipstick. It gives me pleasure every time I put it on. Um, I talk with good friends like you, who I feel connected with, because it gives me pleasure, but it also refills my cup while it hopefully is refilling your cup,
Oh, for
right?
sure. Yeah.
I have plants on my desk. I have crystals. I have so many crystals on my desk because they help me with my energy, but they also give me pleasure. So being aware of what that can look like, and just taking that moment. You said gratitude earlier. That moment of, gosh, I'm really blessed to be sitting here in a sunny office with my plant that's leaning in towards the light, with these crystals that I can pick up and hold if it's feeling like a rough day, or that I can pick up and hold and make the day sweeter. You know, I can do all of these little things for myself that are pleasure based. And even if it is a more masculine, okay, I got a hustle day, I still can be tapped into the feminine of pleasure.
For sure. And I'm learning that more and more. Like Monday was a crazy day between working with a new client, a discovery call, speaking on a podcast. It was just like crazy day, like full of tasks
Mm-hmm.
and things that needed to be done. But I had the best time because the whole thing was just in flow, and it was in alignment. And I think alignment is the word, because that's where
Yes.
the masculine and the feminine combine, and
Mm-hmm.
you get this feeling of like, I got this. It's like
Yes.
all coming
Yes.
together in exactly the way that it needs to. And
Yeah.
I'm right where I need to be right now.
Yeah. We need both masculine and feminine. If we don't have masculine on board, nothing gets done.
That's right. And
Yeah.
that's where the law of attraction meets the law of action. When those two things combine, that's where the magic happens, right? So we
Yeah.
can stand out front, chanting at the moon all night, up, whatever, barefoot and naked in the front garden, and hope that these things are coming to us. But unless we actually back that up with action and do something about it,
Yeah.
um,
Well,
we're
it's
going to
meeting,
continue being frustrated.
yeah, it's meeting God halfway for me,
Yes.
you know? So I tap into what it is I want or what I need. I set an intention
That.
for it. I go to the divine as I understand it. I have a little altar in my office. Well, my desk is a big altar, but I have one specifically set aside, a little space where I can light candles and light incense. It's right next to my door. So as I pass in and out of my office all day, I can stop there, take a breath, but also say, here is what I'm working towards. Here's what I'm hoping for. So I take that spirit tap into it. It's right here at my working altar of my desk. So I I get into the energy of it, and then I sit down and I work.
Yeah.
So it's both. I am
That
meeting
energy
God
is,
halfway.
it's so important to have
Yeah.
that on point, because if you're not feeling it, that's going to come across in the messaging and to everybody that you're trying to make that impact on, right?
Yeah, yeah. So going back to the client who asked you, is there spirituality involved in this? I think it can be worded as, well, I'm a spiritual person. So everything that I do, it's there. I'm not going to push my spirituality onto you if you don't want it.
Absolutely. No.
But you are a spiritual person in some aspect. You are soul as well as body and mind.
Yeah,
So
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. So one
Well,
of
I
the
love all
benefits
of
of
this.
working with you is that they get to be not just body and mind, but they also get some soul infusion too.
Absolutely, the soul infusion. I love that. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Sarah. My battery on my phone is about to run out, and I've also got to jump on another training. I'm learning some more business strategy stuff with the changes that's going on with Facebook and Instagram, so I'll share that with you next time we
Awesome.
catch up.
Yay.
But yeah, thank you so much for your time today, and tell us, where can we find you, and how can people reach out and connect with you?
You can find, if you're local to Charleston, South Carolina, you can find me and work with me physically at SEVA, that's SEVA, bodymindsoul.com. You can find me on Instagram at 21st Century Priestess. You can find me on Facebook at the same. And shortly, my website, 21st Century Priestess, will be up and live. But until then, check out SEVABodyMindSoul.com.
Can you drop those links in the comments below when we're done?
Absolutely. I'd be happy
Perfect.
to. Thank you
And you
so much
guys,
for.
I cannot recommend Sarah enough. If you need to just check out for an afternoon, so treat yourself to Reiki, massage, um, even just being in her presence, her energy is just like
Yeah.
just the thing you need. So
And the massages with my wife Mina,
that's right.
who gives the most delicious rose quartz. The next time you come, you need a rose quartz hot stone massage.
Yes, I'm going to be
Yeah.
booking that soon. I need that in my life.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you so much to our viewers. We hope that you enjoyed this conversation as much as we did. And yeah, reach out to me as well if you have any questions when it comes to business strategy and infusing that energy into your business. My inbox is always open to answer any questions that you have. I'd love to connect. So thanks, everybody, for your time. We'll see you back next week on Business Accelerator TV. Thanks, Sarah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.